Good morning. Welcome to the Joseph Apartments Talk Show. We have some special guests today. This is John RATZLAFF, an investor.
Hello.
In the area. We've got Bob Cooper with Brothers Termite,
Howdy.
Frankie with Buffalo Maintenance, and Rich here with Farmers Insurance. And today's special guest is Jonathan LANSNER of the Orange County Register. I have been reading John's articles for literally 30 years. There's nobody in Southern California, or I think in the country, that is better, has a better grasp on the industry, accurate stuff, often irritating us realtors and confusing investors, but nevertheless always accurate. So welcome, John, today. So we're just going to kick it around. I'm going to start with the market from my point of view. I've never seen inventory so tight. For every buyer that I have, for every seller that I have, I've literally got about 50 or 60 buyers. I've never seen it quite this tight. Also, all cash buyers. I know I say this a lot, but really there's an increase in the amount of all cash buyers that are out there for a couple of reasons. Prices are selling for more than what lenders, Chase, Wells, are appraising them for. So as a result, a lot of realtors are just tired of being stressed out with appraisers coming in short and just dealing with all cash buyers. And when you look for all cash buyers, they're all over the place. They're not able to get the returns they want in a CD or in the stock market, and so they just have a lot of cash laying around. So my world is very little inventory and lots of angry buyers. So let me just take it around. John, give us an overview of what you think is going on in the...
Well, it's certainly a landlord's market for many reasons. One you talked about, if you're tired of being a landlord, there are plenty of people who will take your property off your hands at a good price. If you're willing to stay, the dynamics are still pretty good for being a landlord, and obviously your apartments are pretty full. It is not hard to fill an apartment. From what I hear, not only can you fill the apartment, you can fill someone who is fully qualified with good credit, meaning you're going to get your monthly check, and it's going to be a good check. And third, when you raise rents, people don't move for two reasons. One, there is no empty apartment to move to. And two, to some degree, at least at this point, they're getting some pay raises finally. So your rate hike probably isn't as painful. But I would caution that I think the rent hikes are going to create the next wave of homeowners.
You wrote an article about motels and hotels. Do you see construction supply in apartments as meeting that demand, or is the demand far outpacing new construction?
Well, I think it's going to be sort of the inverse when you talk about construction. Most of the construction these days is Class A. I know they often call it luxury. Just because it's clean doesn't mean it's a luxury apartment, but it's a nice place, and obviously new places tend to rent pretty well. So you have a huge number of apartments coming online this year and next. I think that's certainly going to soften to some degree the rent hikes that the Class A, the luxury apartment owners can get. That's going to move down the food chain somewhat slowly. I don't think at some point someone who's got a fourplex or just renting a home is going to be impacted immediately by that. But I think you're going to start to see some of the inevitable part of the cycle where the developers see opportunity with both increased occupancy and increased rents, and they're going to overbuild like they always do, and that's going to, one way or another, I think at least anything, take the edge off a landlord's ability to raise rents as much as they have the last few years. So speaking to then your investors who are full of cash, who may be sitting there going, oh my gosh, I can get in now, and projecting out some rent increases that they've seen in the rearview mirror. If I was a buyer right now, I would consider today's rents and modest increases going forward, because I think, one, I think we're going to have some new supply. Two, we're going to lose some demand because people are going to be nudged to buy, one, by raising rents, and two, low interest rates, and they're going to want to lock in that low interest rate one time or another. And the third thing is we've had 6 pretty good years of economic expansion, and math tells you sooner or later, 18 months, 2 years, maybe even 3 if you're lucky.
Rich, tell us what's going on in the insurance part of apartments.
Well, as far as insurance goes, the knowing up front if there's going to be any gaps in coverage, we want to know if there's going to be a surprise, you want it before there's a claim, not after. And but going along with some of the other gentlemen here, the loss control, avoiding claims. So there's checklists that insurance companies promote and actually agents work with to go out physically inspect with the owner of the property and see if there's any deficiencies anywhere. The big thing, a lot of claims recently is on employment practices liability. The manager of an apartment, the property manager, the owner, wrongful eviction, wrongful sexual harassment, any kind of issues that if you make somebody feel bad, you can be attacked. So a lot of policies, if they've had their policy for a long time, they weren't automatically included. So you have to make sure. I would definitely look at employment practices, and now cyber liability issues. People hacking into your computer systems and getting the personal information, and you could be drugged into something like that.
So someone watching this, Rich, that could call you and you would walk them through that, send them a checklist or something, and get them.
Yes,
straightened out?
everything's in a tidy little book.
Is that cool or what? Frankie, what's going on with property maintenance and prevention and El Nino predictor?
El Nino predictor. Obviously, El Nino got stuck in the north traffic jam, but don't expect it to go away or disappear anytime soon. Still take all the same measures that we should, because we will expect a little more El Nino type weather and wind. But to piggyback a little bit of what John was talking about, as the investors and property owners, current apartment building owners, or people thinking about getting into the property ownership business, we have to be careful to properly maintain our existing units. Because of all the new construction and all the A-class buildings and luxury type apartment buildings coming up in Southern California and set to come online, we have to be prepared with our existing 1960, 1970, 1980 stock to be able to compete for those higher rents. You're not going to achieve the increase in rents over the next 3 years trying to rent your units in the conditions they're in. So my advice is to start looking at very strategic upgrades to your units. If you have not been providing adequate proactive type maintenance, so your routine maintenance, corrective maintenance, preventive maintenance to your buildings, you should start, because there's nothing good comes from a deferred apartment building. Either you're going to fill it in your rents, or you're going to fill it at the time that you want to exit the apartment ownership market and go to a sale.
So Frankie, somebody watching this could call you up, have you come by their apartments, you can do analysis of where they stand in the ABCD range, and you could bring them up a grade or two.
Yes,
to make them more competitive.
Absolutely. A lot of us tend to not reach out to professionals. If I wanted to know something about real estate, I'd ask John, I'd ask Jim, hey, what should I do with my apartment building? How can I 1031 into another building? All the questions, I would go to good counsel to be able to make an informed decision. Most apartment building owners, unfortunately, like to learn by trial and error. So it's best to reach out to a professional.
Speaking of experts, Bob is an expert on donuts and termites. What's going on, Bob, in the world of apartment termites?
Well, again, playing into exactly what especially these two gentlemen have said here, and also on the insurance end, we are in a unique position to be able to go out and get, I would say, intimate with the building. And what I mean by that is we're state licensed, been trained, we've been doing this, Brothers been doing this almost 40 years. We go out and we inspect the entire exterior, if it's on a raised, underneath the building, attics, inside units. And what that does for the owner is it lets them know exactly what's going on, whether there's termite damage, dry rot, excessive moisture conditions, water intrusion. Again, with what they said, you want to be proactive and not give a reason for a tenant to create a problem for you, and doing a termite inspection is going to alert you not to just termite activity and water conditions, but of all sorts of other things that we are sort of obligated to let the owner know. At that point, we're able to take care of the adverse conditions, whether they be roofing problems, stairs, steps, big liability in stairs, steps, landings. You don't want anybody tripping or falling or having a failure on one of those. So we're able to let them know and take care of the problem and keep you in having as much control over your building and getting, again, like they also said, getting as much money for your unit that you can.
So Bob, an apartment owner watching this could call you.
Mm-hmm.
You come by,
Mhm.
give them a free analysis,
Yes.
show them what they could do to eliminate the termites coming in.
That's right.
Also do like the stair step analysis, everything to keep the property.
Yeah, we'll actually, for free, go out and inspect, be as thorough or not as thorough as they wish, if they wish to focus on one particular item. And they'll get a report generated with findings, recommendations, cost breakdowns, total cost. There'll be no guesswork involved. They'll have it all in front of them in a report that they'll be able to read, and if they wish to act on it, we'd be more than happy to help them.
You do and recommend the annual contracts
Control-
for pest control?
Yeah, control service programs. Again, we
Roaches,
specialize in termite, wood destroying pest and organism. But it would be an annual, and it's a good idea. And whether there's something happening annual or not, you will always have that peace of mind of knowing that at least once a year somebody's going to go out and take a look at your building and let you know if there's any, again, adverse conditions happening.
And you bring donuts along for those inspections, correct?
And coffee.
John, you are our target market. You are an investor. We're all here to make your life easier and make money off of you.
Well,
What do you see going on that's of note?
actually, I think people get into real estate investment for different reasons. Some of them not even sure why they get in it, I guess. But I think if you are on the fence and thinking about getting into real estate investment,
Estate investor. I've been investing in real estate for about 45 years now, and the one thing that I've learned over the years is people get into real estate investment for different reasons, and there are all kinds of owners. There's good ones and there's bad ones. It's a shame that we have so many bad ones in the industry, and I call it an industry. But I think the thing that I learned in the very beginning to help build wealth and to be successful in the real estate investment industry was to surround yourself with people that can help you, people that can give you good advice, like we get out of the Orange County Register, and from an expert in real estate apartments is Jim Joseph and his apartment house sales, and your insurance and maintenance and termite people. If you surround yourself with these kinds of experts and people that are knowledgeable in the industry that can offer you advice and suggestions on how to keep your property well maintained and logically moving forward, it's going to benefit you. The one thing also that I learned is don't be so nicky-pitty about the way you buy stuff. If you find a halfway decent deal, jump on it and do what you need to do to improve it. And a couple of years down the line, you're going to look back and be thankful that you did purchase something like that. Another issue that I take true to my heart is that I don't waste my money that I get off of the properties that I have invested in. I pour all of that back into the property investments, building it towards the future, because at some point in time you could just relax and say, I don't need to do any more and I've got all that I need. So if you're sitting on the fence and looking at getting into real estate investments, I say contact some of these gentlemen and learn and get involved and move forward that way. Build yourself some wealth. You'll be glad you did. Thank you, John, Bob, Frank, John, and Rich. Their contact information is below here, as you can see. So give them a call. They're experts in their area. Don't call John, don't bother him. But subscribe to the Orange County Register and read the real estate section. How often do you write articles?
Too often, but every Sunday is the real estate.
Every Sunday. So contact these guys, and if you have any questions for next month's episode, send us an email. Thank you for watching the Joseph Apartments Talk Show. Talk to you next month.